What's up? What's up? This is Mike Lee,
This Monil.
and we're back with the Lee's Fitness Unlimited podcast. This week we got weeks 5 and 6 of our fantasy football matchup. Week 5. In our ranks, we had for the East, we had Boona ranked 1. I was ranked 2. Jerm Summers ranked 3. Lewis Arnold was ranked 4. And Justin Seals was ranked 5. So with those records, me and Boona were 3-2, and we actually played each other this week. We had Jeremy and Lewis were both 2-3, and they were playing each other this week. And then Seals was also 2-3. So in the East Division, we had 2 3-2 teams and 3 2-3 teams. On the West side, we got Dooley tied for first with Lukey. Both their teams are 4-1. We had GQ sitting at 2-3 in third place. Fourth place, we have Team Neil. And then fifth place, we had Team Canada. So at this point in the league, in week 5, we got Dooley and Lukey got the best record in the league. Jonathan is at the bottom of the league, along with Team Neil. But mind you, this is week 5, so things most likely did change after that week. So our leading scorers, Boona's leading scorer was, what's his name, Cooper Kupp. LA Rams had 17.7 points, 9 receptions, 117 yards, and a touchdown. My leading scorer was Amari Cooper. That week he had 28.6 points, 11 receptions for 226 yards and a touchdown, which was pretty big. That was a big game. Jerm Summers had Jones from Green Bay with 42 points.
Those them 4 tugs.
107 yards and 4 touchdowns. Yeah, that's a big game for sure.
They played Dallas that game. He did. He went off.
And then we got Lewis Arnold with Jacobs, the running back from the Raiders. 123 yards and 2 touchdowns. This dude actually been doing pretty good for the Raiders.
Yeah, and he's a rookie.
Mm-hmm.
He's a good pickup.
That's one of the good things the Raiders got going is their running back situation right now.
Yeah, I agree.
And I didn't think they was gonna be able to find somebody that quick after Marshawn Lynch, but
they had got Marshawn close to the end of his career. He wasn't the Marshawn like in Seattle or Buffalo. So
Seattle was his best years.
Yeah, I agree.
Canada had Jameis Winston with 17.5 points, 204 yards, and 2 touchdowns. Oh, I'm sorry. That was not Canada. That was Justin Seals playing against Team Canada. But, Jameis Winston, he's one of those guys. He'll have a good week out of nowhere. So you really can't count him out, but he's kind of hard to rely on.
Yeah, I couldn't bet on it right now. That's all.
And then we have, for the West, Dooley had Kyler Murray with 253 yards and a rushing touchdown. He scored 25 fantasy points.
That's a rookie also.
The rookies doing it. The rookies is doing it. Christian McCaffrey, who a lot of people think may be the MVP of the season, he had 41 points for Team Lukey, 176 yards, 3 total touchdowns.
Yeah.
So he brings value because he's going to be doing it all. He's going to catch the ball. He's going to run the ball. He'll even do special teams and return the ball too. So Christian McCaffrey's a utility guy.
Very valuable.
And we had GQ with Thielen from Minnesota with 25 points, 7 receptions, 130 yards, 2 touchdowns. Team Neil, his leading scorer has been Deshaun Watson. He pretty much leads you every week, huh?
Pretty much.
Yeah, he had 41 points in week 5, 426 yards, and 5 touchdowns. And then Team Canada had Matt Ryan for 330 yards, 4 touchdowns, threw a pick, but he ended up with 31.9 fantasy points. So that was a quick rundown of where our league went in week 5. But now we're going to give you a more in-depth look of where we are currently after week 6. So, Mo, can you take it from here and let us know where we at in week 6?
Yeah, let me see. But week 6, I think everyone made strides in week 6 overall, though. Production overall.
Not me. I had a bad week. Most of the guys did, though. So this is where we at for week 6.
All right, so for week 6, we have Big Dog Lukey with a 5-1 record. He played Autumn Windy Boys. He played Lewis Arnold that week. Same with That Man Dooley, who played Big Worm. That's Jeremy, right?
Mm-hmm.
He played Big Worm. Myself, Team Neil, have played Boona that week. In week 6. GQ played Seals. And then Team Canada played Mike.
I gave Canada his first win of the season. I had a terrible week.
Dang.
But shout out to Justin Seals, man. Justin saved me from getting just completely annihilated, and he saved, I know, a couple other guys. So
what did he do?
He was just calling people and reminding them to check up their lineups, and he was giving a fair heads up, because I know a lot of people forgot to check their lineups on Sunday morning. And if it wasn't for Justin, I would have had never even known that Todd Gurley was going to be sitting out that week. So he did help me a little bit. It still wasn't good enough for me to win, but that's on me. So for the East, we had Boona was 4-2, still number 1 in the East. After week 6, I'm 3-3 after that loss to Canada. Justin's 3-3 as well. Justin Seals is 3-3, and Lewis is 2-4, and Jeremy Summers is also 2-4. So Mo, can you go through the leading scores for week 6?
Yeah, I'll start with the East. Lamar Jackson was Boona's highest scoring player with 30.6 points. For Mike, your highest player was Freeman. Is that the running back from Atlanta?
Yeah.
Okay. Devontae Freeman, right?
Yeah, he played really well.
That's good. Third place, which is Jeremy Summers, his highest scoring player was Johnson D. Johnson with 22.2 points. We had Lewis Arnold, highest scoring player against Team Lukey Fit was John Connor. Is that his name, John Connor?
I don't even know.
Or Connor, right? With 23.9 points. Jeremy. Yeah, wait, is that Jeremy? I did 2 of them, but I think that one is Jeremy, Big Worm.
Yeah.
Jeremy playing that man, Carl Wentz, put up 20.5 points or 20.5 points. For the West, we have Team Lukey. He played Lewis Arnold. Clarkson, I believe that's the running back from the not the Chargers. The
Seattle.
Seahawks. Yeah. 21.9 points. That man, Kyle Murray, once again, 28.8 points. He played Big Worm. Myself against Boona, Deshaun Watson put up 29.4. GQ playing Justin, Teddy Bridgewater put up 13.6 points, which says a lot about that game, with that being the highest scoring, highest score. And then with Team Canada playing Mike, Matt Ryan put up 30.9. I think Matt Ryan was consecutive 2 weeks in a row. Murray, Deshaun Watson for myself.
Yep. And that's why I'm glad that we did this doubleheader 2 weeks in a row, so we can actually see these comparisons, because that's 3 teams that had the same guy as their MVP 2 weeks in a row. So that's a good pick.
Those are quarterbacks.
Yep, quarterbacks. After week 6, I've made an official quarterback change. I've put my first round draft pick on the bench. I know I'm probably the only guy in the league that's done this. And then my second round draft pick, I'm actually looking to trade him. So I'm going through a slight crisis right now.
That's pretty real.
My quarterback was I forgot homeboy's name now. See how that happens? Mahomes. Yeah, Mahomes, you on the bench for me right now, because Russell Wilson been scoring way too many points on the bench for me. Like, I'm looking at every time I check my score, even games I'm winning, I'm like, damn, I'm leaving 40, 50 points on the board. Like, man, Russell Wilson he's a true competitor. He's a Super Bowl champion, and he a vet, so he knows the league.
You gotta respect his game.
Gotta respect it.
Gotta respect his game. The only trade I've made is I took Gordon out because I seen he got hurt trying to make a touchdown saving tackle. Looked like he hurt his knee, so I took him out and put in what was that, Diggs, the receiver from Minnesota, who just put up like 36 points in the previous week.
This week is also interesting because it's the last week that a lot of these players are on this team because they had the trade deadline, and so I know that Marcus Peters ended up going to Baltimore Ravens, which is not that big of a deal for fantasy football, but it's he was just one of many players that got moved around and shuffled around. So for all you team owners, you guys need to check your roster and make sure, because you'll still have a player. He may have been playing with the Raiders this whole time, and now he could be playing with the Miami Dolphins. So you need to check every player and make sure that they still on the team that you think they're on.
Yeah, it may even be some good pickups out there now because they're on the new team.
Yeah.
I think the Bills have released a player or traded a player that the Raiders picked up most recently, a receiver. And I think he's probably going to do well for the Raiders because the Raiders really need a receiver.
Raiders do need a receiver, but they just paid a tight end for 3 years.
What tight end?
A rookie. He's got a max contract for a tight end on the Raiders.
Man.
Yeah, so that's interesting. The Raiders, there ain't no telling what the Raiders going to do, though. But I will say, out of the week 6, the game that I was focused on watching was that LA Rams and 49er game. That was a good game. Did you see that one?
Nah, but I know the Niners made people believers, and it's crazy to think people did not believe the Niners could be as good as they are. What don't the Niners have as a team?
They got it. They're good. The Niners are really are good. That was my first time watching them play this season. They good.
And they're exciting to watch, too.
And they had their whole fan base. It was more red people in the stands than in L.A. It was crazy. It was really crazy. You would have thought it was a 49er game if you didn't see the Rams in the middle of the field.
I was watching a YouTube thing with Richard Sherman. It was, on a game. I'm he's literally, a defensive coordinator that's playing with his players. You know how much of an advantage that is as, actually a real D coordinator to your team to have a person on the field that knows what everyone's doing and telling them what to do.
He's just intelligent. He went to Stanford and he got some intelligence behind him.
It's man, that's low key a cheat code. So to how good the Niners defense is also, it's man, because what they did to the Browns, I was oh, their defense is cold.
But on the flip side of that, the Rams ain't as good as I thought they were. Not just because they lost that game, but they ain't looking like a team that just came from the Super Bowl.
Well, you think the Rams don't have a running game, so how they passing game gonna really pop? They don't have a running game. Yeah,
that's true. But even their defense was way harder last year, it seemed.
Yeah, but that's when you're not on the field that much either, because your offense is controlling the tempo of the game.
Yeah.
I would hate, it's never good when your defense is on the field longer than your offense. That's not a good day at all. What's your thoughts on the trade with Jalen Ramsey going to the Rams and the Rams giving up 2 first-round picks and a 4th-round pick?
I think it's a win-win because I think Jalen Ramsey is probably the best corner in the league right now, and Marcus Peters is guaranteed going back to the playoffs with Baltimore, so it's a win-win. I think both teams got what they need.
Do you think Jalen Ramsey is worth 2 first rounds and a 4th round?
Yeah. For the fact, if he the best corner in the league, or at least top 3, for sure top 3, and the NFL is a passing league, DBs and defensive ends should be paid the most on the defense. You need pass rush and you need coverage, which sucks because linebackers really got the most job because they got to play run and pass.
Yeah.
But it's just the way the league's going now. You got to invest in a good DB. So yeah.
Who do you think the best DB in the league is?
I would say It's a toss-up between Jalen Ramsey, Richard Sherman.
You would still consider Richard Sherman as top DB in the league right now? Not just what he did in the past, but like right now.
Teams respect him. They're not just gonna be throwing his way all day.
No, that's true.
You know, I'm trying to think because I know it's somebody else I'm leaving out, but I don't know.
Because like what it is now.
Dude from New Orleans is pretty good too.
New Orleans?
Yeah, they got a good DB.
See, have you seen the
I
DB
forget his
play
name,
from
though.
New England though?
Which
Gilmore.
one? Gilmore, yeah. He is
He's
good.
supposed to be like one of the coldest.
Yeah, he is.
Then they still got Trufant in Atlanta. Supposed to be like still the top one.
I think some of them guys is getting old though. Like Trufant, I mean, I don't know. I really ain't been watching Atlanta, but like Aqib Talib, he like a vet.
Yeah,
he kind of falling off.
Yeah.
And then are you just talking about corners or safeties too? When people say DBs, they tend to think just corners.
Yeah, I would consider corners. It's really hard to. I don't know. The safeties. There's so much like a safety can do.
Earl Thomas is still one of the top safeties in the league, in my opinion. But someone that fell off, and I really like him, but I think Eric Weddle ain't the same as what he was.
Yeah, it catches up. I haven't watched too much of him, but it definitely catches up.
Yeah.
Like, definitely catches up. I don't even know. See, I don't know. And it's like the safety, the play of the safety now is much different than like when I was growing up watching football. It's like you'd think of like Sean Taylor or Troy Polamalu.
Nah, ain't no more
or
than
Ed Reed, something like that. Like the safety now is, I don't know. Or Cam Chandler.
Safety's got a different responsibility now because even when Sean Taylor and them was playing,
Yeah, like you can't go head hunting, so it's like different.
it's too much tight end involvement. A strong safety still got to be responsible for a tight end, that's gonna change the game because you got these big ass tight ends like Gronkowski.
Yeah, or
That's
Kelsey.
Yeah, so it take them out the game because now they ain't on the slot receivers as much as they once was. The free safety might be, but your strong safety got to play tight end. You know.
Yeah, because the linebacker just can't.
Yeah, so and that's why a tight end is a real crucial situation because they could throw a whole defensive off. Tight ends are changing the game.
Well, it's like you think about it, the introduction of the second tight end took away the fullback.
Yep.
Like, or the idea of an H-back.
Yep.
Like that's what that is the catching tight end.
Yeah, and now you see.
Now it's like the tight end do this. Like don't get it twisted. Like tight end, you'd be crazy to just see a tight end block. Like you better be able to catch some kind of route.
But then that started with guys like Antonio Gates. You can't forget about him. Who else was some
I was
guy
just
that started
watching
that?
this little round table thing on tight ends with Shannon Sharp. It had Kellen Winslow.
Yeah, I saw that.
Yeah, and it was like even seeing what Kellen Winslow was doing back in his time. I was like, oh dang. Like,
Kellen Winslow was the first. He was the first.
But he was even like showing love to like people ahead of him that was doing it. I was like, dang. Just to think, like football been around for 100 years. Like that's a pretty cool long time. Like you got some generations.
Yep.